We are waking up to the opioid epidemic, and that's what a group of moms are doing. Moms Stop the Harm are more than 700 strong. Leslie McBain is one of the co-founders of the group. She joins me now by Skype from BC, Pender Island. And here in studio with me is Sheila Jennings, who handles the Ontario part of Moms Stop the Harm. Thank you for being with us. Leslie, let's start with you in BC. You lost Jordan to an overdose. Share us a bit about your experience.
My son Jordan, when he was a teenager, I'd say middle teenager, he had a lot of friends, and the friends is a close-knit group because we're a small community, and they were going out to the lake and drinking alcohol and gathering and smoking pot, as teenagers do. We weren't, his dad and I weren't actually very happy about that, not about the friends part, but about pot and alcohol. We had as many talks with him as we could. We, told him that if he ever needed a ride to please call us, which he did. And it went on through high school, and for Jordan, it was escalating. A lot of his friends were more moderate in their use of substances, but Jordan's kind of escalated. And by the time he was 19, he had graduated high school and he was out on his own working, and he came to us and told us that he felt he was addicted and that he needed help.
Let's go now to Ontario. Sheila, Jordan, your son, didn't pass away. And his journey was so different because he was a high health risk young child.
Yes, that's right. So I won't be able to share my son's name today. However, yes, the story is a little bit different from one substance using person to another. In my son's case, he was a medically complex child who was administered a lot of pain relief throughout childhood and throughout adolescence. So it didn't really come as a great surprise to me that he joined his friends in using substances. It was probably a comfortable place for him. In terms of why I joined Moms Stop the Harm, I joined in November, a year ago in November, after what I'm gauging is the seventh or eighth overdose that my son experienced. He experienced overdoses in Calgary and also in Ontario.
And I want you to, if you can, tell us about how he was found and what Canadians did with him.
Right. So there's different experiences that he had with different overdoses. So one of the positive ones was engaging in harm reduction. So using a substance with a close friend and them saving one another. That was one scenario. Another scenario is something that happened to him in Calgary, where he overdosed in a Tim Hortons bathroom and was subsequently dumped in the parking lot. And I have shared this story before, and it still has powerful effect on me. He was saved by a woman who was waiting for a bus, who came over and stayed with him. And that overdose in particular, his heart stopped. And so he has relayed this to me, starting with "Mom, I died," which of course it's not a death, it's an opioid reversal, but that was his experience of it.
And that woman put a note inside his pocket.
Inside his jacket. And then he was given that. And he went, this I've learned from him because I wasn't in Alberta at the time, but he then went to hospital, and then he was there for a while, and then he went to detox.
A powerful example of one angel being there on time, a mom, another lady. And here you guys are now. You've pulled together over 700 mothers saying, we got to stop this in Canada. Leslie, it's not quite legalization you're asking for. Tell us, there's two things. There's this compassion thing, yes, but you actually want something changed in law. What is it?
We do. Two things that we would very much like to see and we advocate for come under the sort of under the heading of supporting and compassionate supporting of people who use drugs. We would like to see the federal government decriminalize people who possess and use illicit drugs for personal use. That in itself does not mean legalizing drugs across the board. It just means that people who use drugs, if they should be stopped by the police for any reason and are in possession of an illicit drug, they will not go to jail. Jail never helped anyone recover from addiction, I might add. The other thing that we advocate for is a safe, regulated, legal supply of opioids.
Leslie and Sheila, thank you both for joining me today and having the courage to share your children's stories. This takes the stigma off. It's families like all of ours. Thank you very much.